Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at a couple exciting NexTool multi-tools, and this is going to be the NexTool Flagship Pro, two versions, and then two different colors of, and two different colors of the NexTool Mini Flagship Pro. So NexTool has kindly given me several multi-tools to review, and we will be going over those in the next couple days. So I wanted to mention there is about a $10 difference between these two multi-tools right now, and there is about a 5-ounce difference. So this is going to come in at 3 ounces at $35. This is going to come in at, these rather, are going to come in at around 8.6 ounces, and this will be $43 and this will be $46. So for about $10 more, you can get these larger multi-tools, but then they are a lot heavier as well. So let's go over the mini version first. So these come in some very bright colors here. And this is going to be the pliers. They're going to meet very well at the end there. We are going to have a small set of cutters as well, right there. And then we have the keychain right here on the end attachment. And one of the nice things is a lot of multi-tools always put rulers on their keychain, multi-tools even, and sometimes it just seems senseless, but at least here they just put some scales, and it looks like they try to make them a little bit textured for extra grip. This is so tiny, I'm not sure that really helps that much, but it was a nice touch to try to add that. So we are going to have several outside opening tools, and this is going to be the file right here, and there we have the screw, the flat edge screwdriver at the end there, and then we are going to have the Phillips. That's going to be a fairly long Phillips as well for a small multi-tool. And then on this side we will have the combo tool. This will be not only the bottle opener but the can opener as well. And then on this side, let's see, we already looked at the file and the Phillips, and on this side, rather, we have the knife. And I have to say that I do really like the shape of that knife, and that looks like a pretty nice knife for such a small multi-tool. And then one of the things that really set these multi-tools apart is they have these very large pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and try these out. We are going to try them out on some paracord. So let's go ahead and do that. This bright orange paracord. And let's see, and as I expected, they are an amazing pair of scissors. They just cut and cut and cut. So great job with that. Let's go ahead and just to be sure on the other multi-tool, and it's the same way. Just to illustrate that's not a fluke, both of these just do an amazing job. And that never really fails to amaze me, because some multi-tools just butcher paracord, and that's fine. I mean, not everyone's going to be cutting paracord all the time, but it's sort of a joy to see when these tiny multi-tools can just do such an amazing job with a pair of scissors. So pretty outstanding job right there. So overall, I feel like this does have a lot of value. There are not a whole bunch of capable small multi-tools. And so I think this does fit a gap in the market. So this is somewhere between, I guess you could say, the Leatherman Squirt and the SOG Power Pint, because it has such a large pair of scissors. Now this is probably about the size of the Leatherman Squirt, but those huge pair of scissors just give it a whole different level of capability. I mean, this is essentially like two multi-tools in one. It's almost like having the Leatherman Micra and the Squirt in one multi-tool, which I think makes this a lot more valuable. So that is going to be the Mini Flagship Pro, rather. And these are the 2 colors that I have. There are 4 colors total, I believe, that you can get these in. All right, so I'll set these off to the side, and then this is going to be the Flagship Pro. Now, these are a really nice set of multi-tools, and I want to bring in the sheath. I'm not a huge fan of the sheath, just to be honest. It seems a little bit flimsy, and it's all right, but not a huge fan of that. But I am a huge fan of how NexTool adds these replaceable cutters, and you don't have to pay any extra charge. It comes with a multi-tool. Now, I am a huge fan of that. I think that is a great value to just go ahead and throw that in. I mean, this is like a $10 to $15 what some other multi-tools charge value right here, and they just add that into the multi-tool. So with this added, the multi-tool, essentially you're only paying about $35. So a pretty good deal. So let's go ahead and look over this first. So we do have the replaceable cutters, we do have the pliers, and these do feel very sturdy, I have to say. I mean, you can just like crank down on this and it feels like a very heavy duty frame. So let's go over here and let's look at its features. So this is going to be made of 5CR15. Now, I think some of the other multi-tools I've reviewed, well, I know some of them are made of 3CR. So this, it just seems like it's going to be a little bit sturdier multi-tool. We are going to have the needle nose pliers, regular pliers, the wire cutters, and we are going to have the replaceable cutters, stranded cutters, and so down here, they're viewing this at the bottom as a pair of stranded cutters. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, from what it looks like right there at the bottom, stranded wire cutters. Well, let's go ahead and check that out a little bit. I'm not sure if I have any wire left that's stranded. Actually, I do. So, let's go ahead and see. I think I'm reading that right. So let's put that in right there, and it does cut. It doesn't cut all the way. Well, now it did. So I guess that does work. Now I would think, yeah, that actually works really good. So the wire cutters work pretty good. I guess there's 2 different ways you can cut wire, which is pretty unique as well. I thought maybe they meant crimping, but it doesn't crimp because yeah, it cuts instead of crimps. All right, so let's go ahead and look over some of its other features. It's got a large pair of scissors again, more like shears really. It does have a glass breaker, knife, bottle opener, flat screwdriver, can opener, wire stripper, hook, cutter, and Phillips screwdriver. All right, so what we are going to have on this side is going to be the saw. So it's going to be a long saw right here. And this is going to have a lock, as you can see. And then on the other side, it will have a lock on the knife as well. Now on these, there are no locking tools, I do not believe. So no locking tools there and no locking tools there. So for about 50% of the listeners, that is going to be very good news because this is not going to get you in trouble for carrying these in the countries where you live. Or at least it should not. So now on these, it will, that is probably some bad news, but anyway, that is what it is. And then on this side, we have a huge pair of scissors, huge, just ginormous. So for instance, this is the Flagship Mini Pro, and these scissors take up about the whole length. So just a gigantic pair of scissors. Now, I assume right off the bat that these are a great pair of scissors, but it's never safe to assume. So let's go ahead and try these out as well. And wow, I'm almost afraid they'll take off my finger, but just really good pair of scissors there. So now, just recently, I have reviewed in the last video the Gerber, and they actually, the Gerber Pry, and they actually had a really good pair of scissors too. So I don't know if it's a trend lately, but I feel like multi-tools are getting a lot better in the scissor department. All right, then we have a very unique tool, and I have not seen this before. So this is going to be the wire cutter plus the Phillips screwdriver. So let's go ahead, and I have not tested out how this works. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If it works, it's very clever. If it doesn't, not a good idea. But so, all right, so it does work. So let's go ahead and crank this in here. And there we go. So I'm not real thrilled with that. So it's not a sharp point on the end, but I don't think that's the best option, because when it comes back, it has the potential to collapse on your hand. So be very careful with using that Phillips screwdriver. I don't know, I guess it might be almost better to keep your finger on it just to make sure it doesn't collapse. With this design, I think it really does need a lock, and unfortunately it is not locking. So I give a couple points to the engineer who came up with this. It's a clever use, but in this application, I think this really needs a lock on it. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some of the other tools. So we are going to have the can opener and then the wire stripper as well. And that feels like a very sharp wire stripper, to be honest. And then we have this screwdriver and the bottle opener as well. So all those tools look very nice, but it is unfortunate about the Phillips, and the other screwdriver won't be as big a deal because there's nothing sharp about it, I don't think. So yeah, you don't have to worry about at the bottom so much collapsing on you. But this hook right here, it is a little bit of a concern. All right, so we've talked about the saw, and then we have a very nice long knife as well. So that's pretty neat as well. And we already talked about the scissors, and then both of these multi-tools, well actually just the Flagship Pro, have the pocket clip. So pretty impressed with that as well. I really like this pocket clip. And I have to say, I'm just in love with the color of this multi-tool. That just really intrigues me. I don't know if I've ever seen a color quite like that on a multi-tool, and just really fantastic. So this is going to be the Flagship Pro Dark. So that is going to be what this one is right here. So pretty neat. All right, so overall, I think all of these offer great value. These, especially even at $46, you get replaceable cutters, so I think that increases the value. And these, again, prices are all going up, so even though these are $35, you may say, well, they're very small, but still, like I said, prices are going up, and you get a scissor and a plier, excellent scissor and a plier as well. All right, I'm going to leave some links below. I'll see you in the next video.